All right, guys, the boys got something for you today. If you're suffering from daily aches and pains, listen to the boy. So top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that's changing the way that Americans fight pain. Canolidine optimizes your body's natural painkillers. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes, including UFC fighters like you, boy. Best of all, guys, it doesn't cause any side effects, grogginess, or addiction. It's all natural. And you can try it. Canolidine for less than $1 a day using my exclusive link below. Guys, the deal is risk-free for a full 90 days. So experience daily pain relief with Canolidine. I mean, what do you have to lose outside of your pain? The boy definitely use it, and I'm all for it. Let's go. Daniel Cormier! Hey, Bo Nickal. What's up, champ? How you doing, man?
I'm great.
Hey, so who's that?
That's
Get the camera on it. Turn the camera on it. Who is that, Bo?
I've actually known Zach for a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah, so you know Anthony Cassar?
I do. He kind of looks like Anthony Cassar.
His brother.
Okay, so this is Zach.
Yeah, Zach
Guys,
helps manage fighters. He's, he's the man. Yeah,
guys, you want to know what making it looks like? Zach. That's when you know, like, Bo Nickal's starting to make it, right? Because then you start to get guys that take care of you.
Yeah, the nice part is I've known him since I was a freshman in college, so
you don't have to get a new guy.
No,
you
not
trust
a new guy. Yeah.
Yeah. How's everything going? Bo, thanks for checking in with me, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
Last time we talked, we were in a little side closet in Vegas.
Yeah.
You went out there and you got Val with the boop, 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 boop. Dude, Val didn't move.
No,
When you hit Val literally just stood there.
He wasn't ready.
And you were like, whoa, he didn't move, so you hit him again.
It was funny because after I hit him the first time, I stepped back and I was like,
expecting him to move.
Yeah, I was like, all right. In my mind, the first thought was, I'm probably going to take this guy down now. I just cracked him good, so he's going to come at me, I'll take him down. And then I was like, or I could just go for the kill and knock him out, and he was boom, 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 it's over.
Because he kind of just stood there, and I was like, oh my God, Bo hit him, and then backed up and realized he didn't go anywhere and hit him again. But it's gone really good to this point. What have you made of how it's gone, right? And I know I give you a hard time, but having somebody you trust to help you is great. And this whole thing is really starting to take off.
It's crazy, you know. I feel like it's almost like not real, right? Like you take anybody's career that's done this, that's competed in this sport, and they're not put in the spotlight this quickly. They're not performing the way I am, like 6 finishes, 3 finishes in the UFC, that type of thing. It's not that easy, you know. I think that I've been blessed to just be around some awesome people that have given me really good guidance, coaching, information, and also I think that I just feel really prepared from 20 plus years of wrestling at the highest level, competing in the NCAA championships, competing in world championships, Olympic trials, the best guys in the world every single day in, day out, feeling that pressure, that struggle, that stress. I think it's just prepared me really well for these moments. And I think that, I never go in expecting it to be easy, but so far that's the way it's worked out. So same thing with this fight. I'm not going in expecting it to be easy, but we'll see.
But you just said that.
Yeah.
You said it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But it has been, right? Why?
Yeah.
Why has it been this easy when it really isn't? It's not easy to go out there and be 3 fights into a career, get into the UFC, and then finish 3 guys in the UFC.
Right.
And they're getting increasingly harder.
Right.
It's not like you're fighting the same level of guy that you did in the beginning, right? The last guy was decent.
Yeah, every guy I'm fighting has, triple the amount of experience as me. I've only been, really competing as a pro for a couple years. Most of these guys have a decade in the sport. I think that it's really my commitment to the sport, my attention to detail. I just do every single little thing I can to be the best I can be. And it's not a turn it off, turn it on type of thing. It's just my life. Like, it's just the way I live and what I love, right? I think just that passion. Like, this is a way that I make money, but it's more than that for me. It's just what I love to do. Like, I would be fighting people regardless, I think. I just love it.
Ask you, do you love competition or do you love fighting? Like, because for me, it was like I love the competition, and fighting brought me more competition after wrestling was done.
I see that. No, I think that I'm very competitive. I love to compete, but I also love to fight, and that's been since I was a little kid. Even when I was wrestling and stuff like that, it was always I was always interested in fighting as well. Where I didn't train, but I'd get into scraps or me and my friends would fight each other. Like, I don't remember if I ever told you this story, but I grew up in middle school. I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So
Oh, really? I thought you were in Texas.
Texas, from the 8th grade through my senior year of high school.
Okay.
From 5th to 8th grade, I lived in Albuquerque. So it's a little bit of a rough area, and so I would go into these wrestling tournaments, and it would be in a middle school or whatever. You've been to these youth wrestling tournaments, and in the back, we'd find a back hallway, and we'd get 20, 25 kids together, and we would fight each other, like bare knuckle fight each other in between our wrestling matches. And
really?
Yeah, that was just like a normal thing, and so I grew up doing that, and I loved it. So, you know, even though I was just wrestling, I always was interested in fighting. It was always fun for me.
You know, fighting has started fast for you. You find yourself now in Madison Square Garden. You know, with most people, I would expect or anticipate shock and awe, pay-per-view. With you, not so much. I know that you can handle the spotlight, right? I've seen you do it since you were a little boy all the way up through college. But what you're doing now is you're fighting a guy that has a ton of experience and has beaten some really, really good guys. Prospects always have to go through that next step. We saw it with the kid from Philadelphia, Joe Pfeiffer.
Right.
He fought against Jack Hermanson, got beat, right? Because it was different.
Yep.
How do you learn from seeing that, or do you believe that you just live in a different realm of, I don't get bothered in those same situations? Because we see it time and time again.
Yeah.
Neil Magny beat somebody a while back, and then the prospect gets moved a little bit too soon.
Right.
They run into a guy like Paul Craig, and they get beat.
Right.
Do you live in a different realm where you're you feel like you're just above maybe falling victim to that, or do you take from what those guys went through and learn from it?
I absolutely, you know, I take what they went through and learn from it, but I had to learn those lessons a lot in wrestling, right? You know, in 2016, I competed in sold-out Madison Square Garden at the NCAA wrestling tournament, and I lost in the finals, and I let that moment become too big for me. And so those were the type of experience I was having as a teenager, you know, as an 18, 19-year-old kid. And so, you know, I definitely take learning experiences from other people, but I feel like I've also lived that myself. And so that maturity helped me achieve what I did in wrestling. And I think it's the same thing for fighting. So I take a lot of confidence from those experiences, and I felt that devastation, I felt that pain, and I felt that loss. You know, for me, it was of my ultimate goal, like being a 4-time NCAA wrestling champion. And so, you know, that motivated me a lot. It continues to motivate me in fighting. So now when I have these opportunities to compete against a guy like Paul Craig, who has a ton of experience, he's a dangerous fighter, he's beat some of the best guys in the world, I feel very locked in, very prepared, and I know how that moment is going to feel for me when I go in. It's not going to be anything that I haven't already dealt with, that I don't already expect. And however the fight goes, you know, I'm very open. If I knock him out in 30 seconds, great. If it goes 15 minutes and it's a hard-fought decision, great. I'm just looking to grow and improve and learn and be the best I can be on that night.
You know, Paul Craig, like, so the UFC, they love you. I'm just going to tell you right now. As an organization, they love you. Right? So you get fights that, at times, can further you, and we've seen it time and time again with young guys, right? But it seems like this one's difficult because Paul Craig is a grappling guy, so it feels like it almost takes away your greatest skill.
Yeah.
What if the danger on the ground is too big?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to stand there for 15 minutes with this dude?
For sure. I think this is a really exciting fight for me because it gets to showcase that I'm a fighter, right? You know, I think in a lot of my fights in the past, yeah, we've seen knockouts and submissions and stuff, but I'm still a wrestler. And this is like a transition period from being a wrestler to being a fighter. And so, you know, for me, I feel confident on the ground. You know, his best position is guard and half guard, so we get into those positions. I've worked a lot, and I feel confident there. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to have to utilize a more well-rounded game to win this fight, and especially to dominate the fight, because I'm not looking to go out and just hold him there for 15 minutes and win a close decision. Like, I want to dominate every second and eventually, you know, ideally get the finish. If the finish doesn't come, no worries, but I want to dominate every second of the fight. So we're going to have to be in a lot of different positions, you know, not just the wrestling positions.
Well, in wrestling, you win, you're cool. Like, you're cool.
Yeah.
But not in this world.
No.
If you win, they're giving him easy fights.
Yeah.
He's getting cupcake fights. They're matching him up with wins. Oh, Bo Nickal's not that good. They're giving. Like, how have you dealt with that, right? Where you just doing what you're supposed to do isn't quite enough, right? Because in wrestling, when you win, people praise you and they like you. The kids think you're cool. But in this, it's like, well, he's not really earning it, right? Like, how have you dealt with that side of the game?
Yeah, it's interesting because I get, on one hand, everybody says he needs to fight better guys. He needs to fight the top guys in the world. These guys suck. And the other hand, they say, oh, he's not any good. He's just a wrestler. And it's like very contradicting. So really, I don't pay any mind to that. I listen to my team, the people that I'm close with. And whenever I hear kind of outside chatter, outside noise, you know, it can kind of get an emotional response. But I try to just always come back to centering myself, being grounded, you know, understanding and remembering what's important to me. And those are the people that I love, my family, their opinions I care about, and then just, you know, sticking to my beliefs and my path and where I think I'm headed. Because there's going to be a million people that say you can't do something.
And it's only going to get bigger.
And it's only going to get, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And for me, the only reason that I'm doing this is because I love it and because I want to do it. If I didn't want to do this, I would do something else. But I love fighting and I love what I do, so this is what I'm doing. That's why, you know, you felt it a ton of times. Yeah. It's a crazy feeling, and it almost makes you sick. And you're like, why am I doing this?
Yep.
But I keep coming back to it because I love it.
It's when you get in the locker room and you're like, dude, I graduated. I did everything I was supposed to do. Like, why am I here?
I don't need to do
this. But then
this.
it's like, I want to fucking do it.
I want to do it,
There's no place I'd rather be.
Yep.
Last thing before I let you go. You win this fight Saturday for sure. You're going to get more comparisons to the elite guys. This thing with Khamzat Chimaev and you, it's so early in your career.
Right.
Like, does it annoy you that they're like, everybody's like, well, Khamzat this, Khamzat this. You know what I asked the other day? Somebody asked me, well, DC, who's the better wrestler? I was like, come on, guys.
Come on.
They're like, who's the better wrestler?
Yeah.
I was like, if these guys are strapping up wrestling shoes, I go, Bo would beat him 10-0 in about a minute.
Yeah.
Because he can't wrestle him.
Right.
In MMA, it's much better because that's what he does, and he's a better striker.
For sure.
Right now. Does it is it annoying? Like, do you like it? Because then it does elevate you.
Yeah.
But it also feels like it's kind of fast forwarding you into a place that's not.
Yeah, it's good and bad. You know, I think that the bad part is the maybe opinions of people that come in where it's like, oh, he's gonna smash you. You're not good enough. This or that. And then the good part is it's like, this is building up some hype for what is potentially going to be a massive, massive fight.
Yeah.
And if I keep doing what I'm doing, he keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to be such an exciting, special moment. And that's what I live for. Like, my thing with Khamzat, I've never had like a negative view of him. It's like, I think he's an incredible fighter. I want to be the best. I think he's probably the best. So let's fight. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out who's better, me or you. Let's figure out American wrestling, Dagestani wrestling. Like, you know, I'm not like one that's really, I'm just very curious. I'm like, I think I'm the best, so you know, let's get in there and test it out.
He's a Chechen guy.
Yeah, Chechen. You're right, Chechnya.
But it's one thing to have people doing it with opinions but he's actually saying it now. That's the thing, right? Like, he's the one that's kind of like going, Bo Nickal, you know.
One thing he said that was interesting, I thought, was in one of his interviews, they asked how the wrestling match would go. And he said, wrestling, I don't know, but this is MMA fight. And it's like, okay, so you know I would whoop you in wrestling. Well, that's good. But you're right, it is an MMA fight. It's different. There's a cage, there's grappling, there's, you know, it's a very different thing. So, you know, but I think that he knows that's almost like a respectful opinion on my skills. And I think that, again, it's just continuing to develop and prove everything else. And if I can do what I did in wrestling, get my striking, my grappling, even to a fraction of what that is, then, you know, we're talking about really a big problem for anybody.
Yeah. You know, when they had good guys that could wrestle, I was like, if y'all paid me what y'all paid me to go wrestle these dudes, I'm the greatest of all time.
Come on,
can't wrestle me. Like, what are we talking about?
It's not the same, you know, when you've gone through the Olympics, you've gone through the NCAAs. It's like,
come on,
that's a grind, you know. You see guys that are just like so good. They've been doing it they've been doing it for, every single guy's been doing it for 20 years.
And then they can't get it done.
And they can't even get it done. And that's the thing too. Like, when I watch your wrestling or watch my wrestling, we're looking at guys that have competed for 20 years and they can't even get a takedown. It's like, destroy them, you know. And so what's a guy that's really
Dude,
not doesn't
a
have
dude
that
that's in
experience.
training camp to get ready to wrestle, like he has no chance. Especially if we're bent over at the waist.
Yeah, no.
I'm literally looking at you just kind of down block.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, there's no scoring
Yeah.
in street wrestling. I always tell people that. It's so annoying.
For sure.
Guys, if you continue to do what you do, and if you add the skills that you have in wrestling, you're in for some really big fights. And that's, my friend, is when the fucking fun starts.
Definitely.
I'm telling you.
I'm fired
Thanks
up.
for checking in with me.
Appreciate
Guys,
you.
make sure you watch Bo Nickal this weekend once again on the pay-per-view portion of the fight card. It's amazing that you've been able to do that, too. It's amazing that you were able to go, I'm not fighting on the prelims.
Well, I said that, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's not my decision. So the UFC, they saw the value
You
as
said
well.
it tongue-in-cheek,
Yeah,
and it actually worked.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I can't imagine myself doing that. And I mean, it aligned, so
Yeah,
it's
so
working
crazy.
out.
This weekend he takes on Paul Craig, biggest fight of his young career at Madison Square Garden. Big moment for him. Make sure you tap into everything Bo is doing. Former NCAA champion with an eye on becoming a UFC champion. Guys, follow everything he's doing. Until next time, like, subscribe, tell your friends about DC's channel. I'm checking in with dudes like Bo Nickal. You got a nickname?
Not yet.
Still none?
Nothing, no.
Come on, man. You got to get a nickname.
I know. It's got to come natural.
Guys, in the comments, give me some nicknames to Bo Nickal
Let's see it.
so we can get one. Maybe we'll put it in the Octagon on Saturday.
Perfect.
Until next time, peace.